Ahoy and welcome to Horizon's Call, everybody. I am Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I am your GM for this wonderful game of Horizon's Call. I am your guiding compass, if you will, which means that I always point north. Always. But I will navigate you through these treacherous seas of Damaris, the world homebrew world of Horizon's Call. I'm very excited for you all to be joining us. We are not live. We are pre-recorded. We are coming to you from the past. It's how time travel works. Think about it. I am joined by these lovely two individuals who have introduced themselves. I do want to throw out that because this is a pre-recorded episode, you can't really alter this game as you typically would with tips through Pally, but you can alter our next game. Anything that you donate goes directly towards our next game through pally.gg, and you can tip this cast and crew, and it's how we have chosen to support them since the channel still is not breaking even. You can give money to Twitch. Don't just don't. Twitch takes way too much of it, and Pally evenly distributes and gives a lot more of it to these lovely people, which is what we're trying to do in the first place. And like I said, if you do tip, you can impact the future game with advantages, crits, black spots, which are complications, and if you do that, I'll sing a sea shanty as well. All that said, I should also note that because this is a pre-recorded episode between Keisha and Fia, this is taking place probably around between episodes 10 and 11. We just recorded 9, so I'm guessing towards the future. But this is taking place after the Storm Giant Kingdom, likely on their way towards the Kingdom of the Sirens. So that said, I'll have these folks introduce themselves. So, Mare, if you don't mind starting us out.
Hello, I'm Mer. I use they, she pronouns, and I am playing your amazing Soul Knife Rogue Star Druid Centaur Acacia, who is, we're gonna see where this goes.
We absolutely will. I'm guessing good and bad places without firmly knowing, but LD.
Be great. Hi, everybody. I'm LD or Lady Dame. I am playing Fia of the Rowan, your badass, super sexy Order of the Profane Soul Blood Hunter slash Rogue Harpy. That's a whole mouthful of stuff.
We could fit, actually, Eva could fit the whole art on the overlay because there's less people on it this time, so gaze upon the gloriousness of the thick thighs.
See all of them. See
Here's
the danger of them.
Did my question is, did Eva actually include the, oh good, my internet connection is unstable briefly. It'll be fine. If Eva actually got the rogue in there.
She did. She specifically did, because I was...
Oh!
She sent it to me, and I'm just like, wait, Fia's a multi-class?
The length of your titles is daunting. All right.
Did I mention she's a harbinger? Because that's also important. She's a harbinger.
Also a harbinger. Fia of the Rowan. Mm-hmm. We pick up on, let's say, the deck of the Redemption. We'll place you both there. If that's non-canonical, it is canonical now because I said so. Fia and Acacia. It is nighttime. You are still technically in the Sea of Eternal Tempest, and yet even in this part of Damaris that is constantly storming, you find pockets here and there where the storm breaks just enough to see a little bit of starlight peeking through before it closes up again. It is quiet on the deck, as there are few people about when they travel at night. What are y'all up to?
I probably would have gone to Fia earlier in the day and just reminded her, like, hey, you remember that favor I asked of you, like, weeks ago when we first entered the Storms of Eternal Tempest? Would you like to do that tonight?
I have not stopped thinking about it. I am very excited for whatever this is.
I have no clue what it's going to be quite honest.
That's the fun part.
I knew you were the right person to ask. I feel like if I asked, I feel like Scarlet might have scolded me. Or maybe, I don't know. Winnie is way too friendly, and Proximus is still very new to non-sea life.
That's... You know your friends better than I do, but I would agree with that assessment.
by asking you. I know you can handle yourself. You're not gonna freak out, hopefully.
Oh, very rarely.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. I think this will be fine. It'll be fine.
You seem pretty competent and like you have a good head on your shoulders. If I feel like if I can trust anyone on this crew, it's you.
Competent in the rogue stuff. I'm still learning the druid.
Eh.
Derek, where on the main deck, not the crow's nest, is the most elevated?
It would be either the fore or the aft. You have the quarter deck and the forecastle. So either or, you could be by the helm or you could be at the front. It kind of makes like a U shape, right? Because you have the captain's quarters, which you can walk directly into, the helm above that, and then on the other end you have what used to be your all quarters, and then the deck above that. So that's probably the highest you could get without climbing any of the rigging.
That's not happening.
I feel like it would be a little cozy up here in the crow's nest if it was both me and Acacia. Like that's a lot of limbs all in a very small area. They're not really built for that.
If
Sort of.
I could do this from the crow's nest, I would. It
Mhm.
feels much more comfortable to be closer to the sky in the crow's nest. But the only way I can do that is through wild shape, and I don't know how long this is going to take, and the last thing I need is to turn back into a centaur in the crow's nest.
You are very wise in that.
God forbid I get stuck, or even worse, fall.
Yeah, I could try and catch it, but I'll admit, you're a little large for my wings.
Please don't try.
Okay.
If I ever fall, please just let me fall.
Noted. I mean, I probably would have anyway, but, glad we've established that baseline.
Listen, I know how much horses weigh. It's... Don't bother. You're good. Even if you're strong enough, I would
Which
tell
I'm
Proximus not to as well, so...
Proximus. Now that's a strong one. Sorry.
I'll just give you a look as you do that little...
Just the mind, you see the mind wander off and like, I have memories. Okay, oh, yep, back focused.
And as maybe like we're talking as I'm leading to the, I think, front of the ship, because the back is where the helm is. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. There's got to be someone manning the wheel, so I'm gonna ignore that part and head towards the front.
Okay.
I like to be out and about anyway at night. I feel like I have this really weird sleep schedule. So I think I would recognize the patterns of the crew on night shift.
Yeah. Acacia, you would know that the ship hangs maybe half a dozen lanterns on the top deck just to keep things somewhat lit, should people need. But there's no more than 5 crewmates on the top deck at night. That is the skeleton crew, again, not literal. So you have somebody at the helm, you have somebody minding the riggings, especially during a storm, just to make sure that nothing breaks. You have somebody just, taking their break, sitting on one of the barrels and trying to keep their head down through the winds and the tempest. And then you just have a couple more who are going about the daily tasks that a ship might require. But nobody is on the forecastle. And as you climb the steps, if you've ever been on a ship in a storm, the closer you get to the front, to the stern of the ship, it's like being at the front of a roller coaster. It is the most motion in that area as the waves are rocking it. So you are feeling it in your knees, your horse knees, the sea legs that you have had to acquire as the ship actually does have some significant movement through the waves. And yet you look forward into this endless storm with lightning crackling through the clouds. It is not raining where you are, fortunately. But you look up and do see a break.
Pet bird. Oh,
Sorry, what'd you say, Fia?
I was, oh, good. I was like, this is great. It's fine. I was saying nobody likes a sopping wet bird anyway. This
Exactly.
Any
Yeah,
look a
sopping
Fia
little
does not have
animals?
the duck feathers that she otherwise would. Um, but yes, you do see breaks from time to time, which it's almost as you look up into the clouds, they seem to part in certain places, perhaps just for you.
As there's breaks in the clouds, like Fia, you would see me like looking at them. But eventually, when we do make it to the front of the ship, I'll stop and then like turn to you. I can't recall what I told you last time when I asked if you wanted to help. Is there any questions I can answer?
I was just about to say, like, admittedly, as excited as I am, I probably should have a few more questions. I feel like with all of the things that we've been through, that perhaps I don't know that I know you as well as I should. It's hard sometimes when you're used to wandering around from place to place to remember to like get to know the people that you're with outside of a purely sort of professional setting. Um, but I guess so. This thing that we're going into, we're talking to stars. We're talking to people in the stars. Exactly.
That's what I'm going to try to do. That's the goal. Druids with an affinity for the heavens can use them to talk to other druids who are affiliated with the stars.
Oh.
So if you ever meet a star druid and you need to get in contact with me for whatever reason, ask. But when I learned this for the first time weeks ago, I reached a little too far and reached out to an elder shard.
Right.
And to my surprise, it answered back.
I take it you weren't expecting that.
No, absolutely not.
Derek, would I have ever heard of any of like elder, like based on my knowledge of like the elder shards from the harbingers and stuff, would I have ever heard of something like that happening before, or to any of the people that I know?
Any of the people that you know, I'm gonna probably say no on this.
Okay.
This is a very I'm not gonna say it's impossible or unheard of, because there are star druids who do make these connections. Oftentimes, especially among the harbingers, it is not advised. It is something when you speak to great things can speak back. When
Right.
you open a doorway, it doesn't just let in. Well, let me put it this way: when you leave your front door open, it doesn't mean that just your friends can walk in.
Right.
So, by connecting yourself to the stars, harbingers at least believe that there is something, and they are right. There are good things and bad things in all places, but
Yes.
especially among the stars.
Yeah, that is quite frightening. Or was it a frightening experience? I guess. Were they nice at least?
The elder, whose name I still need to learn how to pronounce in their native tongue,
Fair.
was not the frightening part.
Do you mind if I ask what that means?
I don't know what it is, what it wants, but the elder shards and other stars are not the only thing that's out there.
No. That, my friend, I am very aware of.
Do you have any ideas on what that might be?
Do I have any ideas on what that might be? I imagine that Fiat would probably not. I mean, she may know what it's connected to, but may not necessarily know exactly what it is.
I'm sorry, specifically what is?
Whatever, like other being that
What the thing is beyond
yeah.
the stars, the scary thing.
The scary thing.
Fia, I would say yes. That is something that is connected. You don't know exactly what it is. You
Right.
don't know its name, and you have been advised to not learn its name. That the more you know about it, the more it knows about you. But it is intrinsically connected to the Starfall Communion.
I missed like some of what you just said there. Other like, I don't know its name,
You shouldn't
but it's
know its name.
right.
The more
And
you
I,
learn about it, the more
Mhm,
it knows about you. But it is connected to the Starfall Communion.
mhm.
It is it is what comes to us when the stars fall.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't say that I know exactly what it is, but I know it's something that is not to be without a lot of support, and it is something that we are trying to find ways that we, the Harbingers, are trying to find ways to stop from getting too close.
The
Don't know how much of that got picked up.
Got most
last,
of it.
I think I got most of it.
Okay, great.
And Acacia, I should note the elder's name. It's not that it's hard to pronounce, it's that it is hard to the elders speak through song. So it's literally trying to like learn a song that's all vocalizations in the same way that speaking simplified or even like formal versions of Chinese, you need the right kind of inflection on certain words for the word to actually make sense. It's that inflection that comes through the song as well in the right pitch. So
I'm not
it's
there.
Acacia maybe for the first time trying to sing.
Yeah, Acacia doesn't usually sing. I know how to play a flute, and that's about it.
Fair enough.
And you might even be able to like make their name on the flute. Like that's the kind of language that they speak.
Ooh.
I'm gonna write that down. Say name on flute.
It'll be
Yeah, it's
interesting
hitting
to
the right notes. They have found a way to the most efficient vocalization, the most efficient conversation can be had through song. Not to say they're all living a giant musical or anything, but when you harmonize with someone else,
Are
you
you
can see
sure
their point of
they're
view.
not having
Music
Yeah,
a
no,
is a
it's
space?
language.
which musical is it? It's all Rent up there.
No, ew, no. How dare you?
Make a suggestion, LD. Theater nerd.
I mean, I feel like it sounds more like opera personally, but
That's
like,
true. Yeah.
like,
Yeah, an opera piece that's all in Latin.
I mean, I'm
It's
totally tempted to say it's Wagner, but nobody likes Wagner.
it's Starlight Express.
No!
It's all a musical about trains.
How dare you?
I'm gonna
Bring- I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna herd the cats.
Yeah,
That's
that's fine.
good. Yeah, please.
Well, okay. Might I ask too how you came relatively new development for you? Like,
Sorry, you
How-
cut off at how did you?
perfect. I am loving how this is going today. Out of anyway. No, I was wondering for you, Acacia, how you came about, how you discovered this. Like, this seems like a very relatively new development for you. How did you get in touch with the stars like this? I'm very curious.
What's the best way to explain this? The actual active listening has been fairly recent. I don't know if you're how familiar you are with Soteria and what the fucking Nerians have done in that direction. But after that, and after we headed up this way. But before that, it's always just been a background sound of music in the back of my head. The singing of the stars and all that romantic sounding stuff. But after that, I started listening, met another druid in Almborg, reached out to another star druid, and that's where we're kind of at. So I'm really, literally just winging it.
That's funny because I
That-
always wing it.
That was not
That's
intentional, but I'm glad you found it funny.
So you heard voices or heard music and you listened.
The long and short. Yeah.
All right.
So, I don't know I don't know if this is going to work. I'm only hoping it works because the last time a group of us were mind linked, we fell asleep drunk and had the same dream. So I'm hoping it works.
Seems a good reason as any. I'll just send a little, thought out to the goddess to protect me, although this is not her realm, so it's not like she's going to do a lot of good.
I'm gonna pray to all the gods that will listen. Give me some luck. Go from there. You know? But I might need assistance if this works and we do reach out. I had no idea what to say or do last time, and I was a little starstruck. So very surprised.
Well, Acacia, let me ask you this. How, in what manner would you like to go about dragging Fia along on this magical starlit adventure?
I will actually fold all four legs out from underneath me and take a seat on the deck. I'm going to get comfortable because I have no clue how long this is going to take.
All right.
Whatever is most comfortable for you. Standing, I would suggest maybe not perching on the rail.
You're so right about that. And you would have seen, it's funny that you would have called that out because you would have seen Fia start to head towards the rail to grip on and oh yeah, probably.
The ship splashes into a wave, surf crashes up at all of you, the smell of brine and salt. Probably not ideal.
Yeah, probably. I'm more worried about Fia falling off if something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's rope if you want to tie yourselves off. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I don't think
body.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
You'll see her she'll sit down and try and fold up her legs in a very strange position. I think it's going to end up being that W seating position with her knees sort of out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look particularly comfortable. But
do you want to perch on my back instead?
No. I don't know how stable that I don't think it would be particularly stable on your back, especially if you're sitting. Just it gets wider. There's not as much, it's the sploot doesn't allow for a lot of gripping. And I might, if something goes wrong, then I might claw you, which nobody wants. Promise, these are sharp. Those are sharp.
I believe it.
Mhm.
I believe it.
I'll be fine. It looks uncomfortable, but she's probably she's really kind of fine. It's just birds are awkward, too many limbs and things,
I will reach out mentally we've done this part.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know how. And at this point, I'm not talking. I'm now mentally talking. And kind of getting pulled along for a dream is completely different than trying to do it intentionally. I'm going to reach out a mental hand to you. See if you can try and take it, and we'll go from there.
She'll try and take it with a talent.
Let's do 2 wisdom saving throws.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool beans. And there's no Proximus to give us the extra bonus.
No buffers. Well,
Is he like
What's
right
weird?
under us?
What's weird is Proximus's closet is directly beneath where you all are sitting. The closet that he sleeps in. If you want to add Proximus's bonus, that's fine. I guess
How
It
he would
just
just
happened.
he would absolutely give it to you. He's just napping.
We'll see what I'll see. I'll see what I roll first. Oh, I don't need it. 17 plus 3. Dirty
Okay.
20.
I rolled a 15.
That's exactly what you needed. So
Hooray!
in your minds, the humanoid hand of Acacia reaching out, the taloned claw of Fia, and just able to grip each other around the wrists and make that firm mental link. The imagery is all just it's a symbol of what's actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
And you have firmly formed that chain link between the two of you.
And
Ooh.
now, just hold on.
Will do with an iron grip. This is a good start, yes?
I hope so.
All right.
And now, Derek, after that has been established with Fia, I am going to just sit with my eyes closed, face towards the sky where all those pockets of stars are, and just listen and reach like I did last time.
Oh. As you are reaching towards the stars that you can see in this pocket of clouds, Fia, eyes open or closed?
Oh, eyes open.
Okay. It's as if you are seeing through Acacia's eyes as the link has been formed between the two of you. Even speaking mentally, there comes a point where one of you is speaking, and by the end of it, you can't tell if you started the sentence or the other person did. It's not just finishing each other's sentences, it's if you're saying the same thing at the same time with this link between you. And as you are looking through four eyes and two towards these stars, the clouds seem to open more and more. And in a blink, you're somewhere else entirely. The sound of storms and rain and water, thunder, lightning, all left far, far behind. For you are many, many miles away in a place that is familiar to one of you and perhaps very strange to another. And Acacia, you would look around as you are now standing, Fia, standing by her side,
Holding hands.
on the
Mhm.
holding hands. And your form is shifting somewhat. For you are not entirely material. You are as of star stuff. Slight twinklings and almost like grains of glittering dust, all forming this astral projection of who you are. And you are standing on a beach, and around you is the ruined city of Korra.
Fiat sort of in this form makes a move that would be like ruffling feathers, as sort of a shifting and things.
There are
That
burned
was
structures. I'm sorry, please.
oh, go ahead, Max. That was an experience. That
There's a very sad look on Acacia's face as I'm just looking around. I didn't expect to end up here.
And you can feel your feet in the sand. You can feel the salty air around you, but it's like when your limbs are almost fully asleep. There's a slight tingle to everything. You're not fully there. And you can smell the smoke still coming off of the burnt structures. Long the cinders have faded. And it is a ruin. It is quiet. It is night.
where is here?
This is my hometown, Korra, on Soteria.
I'm sorry.
The Nereians are gonna get what's coming to them someday.
That they will. The Morrigan comes for everyone at the end.
That is oddly comforting. But I don't know why we ended up here. Last time, I ended up in the far north of the Crown.
You should give me a perception check.
I can do that. I am good at
Both of us?
perception.
Yeah, I would say both of you. You are experiencing something through Acacia. Yeah,
I
you
rolled
both could
really
do.
low. I got a 13.
I rolled a 28.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm too distraught.
That's fair.
Yeah. Via, there is a sound coming from beyond the horizon. Where you're standing right now is the northern shore of Soteria, Cora to the south. It's a slightly hilly area in the sense that there is a great central plain. Not that you would know that, but you can't just look. It's not totally flat island. You can't just look out and see everything. But you can swear that you hear voices from over those hills beyond the city itself. And so, with that information, I would also ask Keisha, is there anywhere that you wanted to go in your former home?
This was not in the plan. I think Acacia's not even thinking about that. She's just taking it in right now. There is no thought of what's next. More of why did I end up here? What went wrong? Why here?
In your previous travel, you said you ended up somewhere else. Had you been, was it a place that you were familiar with the last time too?
No.
Oh.
I've never been to that part of the Crown.
Interesting.
There were ruins that were being studied by another druid who I was initially reaching out to.
Huh.
But I wasn't aiming for here.
Were you aiming to be somewhere specific at all?
Just towards the stars and in Elder Shard.
Now, isn't that interesting? I don't know. I don't know if you can hear. There's something over. What's in that direction over the hills that way?
Is that open plains, Derek?
Yeah, that's where the centaur herds roam.
There's just like a small smile and like a huff. Centaur herds. Let's go. Let's go head that direction. I have a hunch.
That's something I'd like to see.
They're pretty great. If I do say so myself. And I'll just begin leading off in that direction, yeah.
Absolutely. Two of you travel further into what was the city of Cora, with most structures burned around you. Those that had stone seem like they have been knocked down intentionally. Passing into the city square where the statue of the captain who founded this town and his wife has been pulled down, ropes still around them from where they were forced down, likely by Nerian forces. You pass by where your fathers once had their shop. You pass by where your friend once had his stable and forge. And eventually out of the city. And as you are cresting over the hill, you don't find the fields. What you see instead is an endless night of stars, all laid out before you. And in those stars is a song.
Before we reach that field, I probably would be pointing out like all of these different places in Cora to Fia, as well as give a very, very brief history about the founders.
They sound like my kind of people.
They were pretty cool. We actually had the opportunity to meet their ghosts.
Sorry I missed that.
I was just saying, they're pretty great, and I actually had the opportunity to meet their ghosts.
Shame just the ghosts.
I was born far after their death, so.
Oh, well, then that is exciting.
If you're ever in Phoenix Landing, I can introduce you to their daughter.
Really? She cute.
She's grandmother age.
I, don't see anything wrong with that personally. That's not what I asked.
If you find
Age is just a number, baby.
If you find that attractive, then yes.
Look,
I'm
I
very
know
neutral on the attraction thing.
Fair enough. Look, some people find this very attractive, and some people find it monstrous. So,
And to some people, those are the same thing.
well,
Then I do stop like at the edge of the field of stars, though.
Mm-hmm. And as you stop at the edge of this field laid out before you, where there would be grass and plains and trees, it is endless sky and nebulas and constellations yet untouched. And you start to notice that like the star stuff that you are constituted of almost begins to shift and intermingle with the stars in front of you to the point where you can't tell a difference between where your talons or hooves end and the stars begin. And Acacia, you both would see, as a cluster of stars begins to kind of form together and create a very familiar shape for Acacia. And a centaur would come trotting up to you. And Acacia, I would say that this is a form familiar to a much younger version of you, for she is not as spry in her material form as she is here. But Stargazer Nev, the stargazing grandmotherly figure of the centaur herds of your friend Bass, in star stuff in the same way that both of you are, comes just galloping up to you. Acacia, I was just thinking about you.
I actually let go. I drop Fia's hand and like also begin like galloping towards Stargazer Nev and just like take her in a hug.
And you go
Fia's
galloping
wings
off.
sort
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Fia, as the hand drops, Fia's wings sort of like flare open. Well, the star wings sort of flare open like she's kind of lost balance to try and keep herself righted because she's like not sure if she's going to fall off the edge of the world or not at this point.
In case you go galloping off as if the void of this star landscape were as solid as ground. You gallop off with each of your hoofbeats creating stars beneath them, and you meet Stargazer Nev, and she sticks her arms out warmly for a hug. My dear, I did not expect you to get this far so fast. You are very impressive.
Hush, just let me hug you. Stop with the praises and let me hug you and introduce you to a friend of mine.
Of course, dear.
And I'll just wave over to Fia. You're muted.
She'll wing over, gently flapping the large wings.
In the same way, every wing beat spreads a little bit of stardust.
So pretty.
Oh my god. There's no denying this is a beautiful place here.
Stargazer, this is a friend, Fia.
Fia of the Rowan. It's a Pleasure to meet you.
Stargazer Naviria. It is my pleasure, I assure you.
I was not expecting to see you just in general.
Oh, it had been a moment since I stopped in, and Bass still isn't here. He's still trying to figure this part out, so I'll have to rub his nose in it that you made it first.
Be nice.
I will. He'll get here eventually.
I lean over to Fia. Bass is a friend of mine and Stargazer Nev's grandson.
Oh,
What brings you both to the chorus?
Is that what it's called?
It's what I call it. It sounds like that enough to me.
Um, I was trying to reach out somewhere else, actually. Though I will definitely say I am not disappointed to be here and see you.
Well, we aren't anywhere in particular. The way the chorus I've found is it tries to place you somewhere where that's important to you. I've ended up in a number of places, but it's never quite that far before you find what you're looking for.
Well,
this was
go ahead.
an experiment, really.
Sort of.
Acacia here wanted to see if I could come along or if a friend could come along.
It worked.
It can be a risky thing if you've never done it before, but seeing something like this, it's worth it, I think.
Absolutely. I could have done without the being plopped in the middle of Cora, but I'm glad to
I see.
see you.
I'm glad to see you as well. Were you just looking to listen, or are you in search of something, dear?
I'll like glance over at Fia before looking over back at Stargazer Nev. I was hoping to listen a little deeper, farther.
Well, then I'm glad I did find you, Acacia. That's...
Dangerous.
it is. But if you have your mind set on it, I've been there before, and I should know my way back.
Stargazer, I am one of the harbingers, and we have a particular interest in. Well, I personally have been warned about going too far. We all have been warned about going too far in, but we have specific reasons to be interested in these shards, these elder shards, which is part of why I'm here. And if somebody, a guide, can lead the way, that feels like a good idea to me.
I would love to not feel like I'm scrambling around in the dark, if you're willing.
I will guide you, but you must both do everything that I say, and we must make sure that the gate is closed behind us.
The gate?
Figuratively speaking.
Okay.
We are going to go through a doorway of sorts, and we have to make sure that doorway is closed. Elsewise, we might let who knows what in.
I just nod.
Wouldn't want that.
No, he wouldn't.
All right then, everyone. Deep breaths and follow me. And she turns her centaur form, her back to you, and is not galloping away. She is briskly trotting walking away from all of you into this starscape, into the nebulous void in front of you. And as she is moving, she is grabbing for what look like distant stars, just little bits of light. And she's taking a look at certain ones and either placing them back where she found it, or she is collecting them together and creating a constellation, really.
Stargazer,
Yes, Acacia.
I'm actually hoping to look for someone specific.
Oh, all right.
I don't know if you know them. There's a lot of stars. And then I will attempt to whistle the elder's name in the right pitch and tone.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me for performance.
Oh gosh. I have a +1 to charisma.
All right.
It's
You
fine.
got this.
That is not very good. That is a single-digit 5.
Okay. Acacia, it's still nonetheless, you would notice that as you whistle each note, there are stars around you which blink with every note. And Stargazer Nev does look at you and she says, I think you were a bit sharp, honey, but that's all right. I think I know what you were going for.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
And she instead vocalizes and tries to harmonize with this kind of like subtle ambient chorus around you, and hits the notes that you heard before. And again, you watch as some stars you did get right. There was just a couple that were a little off, and as they do, they connect like constellations might. You see these lines of arcane connecting through them, and they blink and flash, and all this stardust kind of culminates like gravity pulling it together. And you would see a form of what you've seen before. Again, they look much like a being of void and stars, but in humanoid shape, with these 6-fingered hands. Very tall. We're talking probably like 15 feet. Hello, Acacia.
There's like a mental, excited, like shaking of Fia's shoulder. Not actually doing it, but like just like, frickin' look. It frickin' worked.
You have come back.
Surprisingly, yes. I apologize for my sudden departure last time. I will hold a hand, starry hand out to Fia. I brought a friend.
A harpy. Yours were always one of my favorites.
Oh, you're a charmer, aren't you?
I don't know. Perhaps.
Are you
I
okay,
should note
Hildy?
no facial expressions to this. It's just void and stars. Like there's like the outline of a 3-dimensional figure. Vast and welcome back to Horizons Call, everybody. Technical issues, they happen. It's not a big deal. Thank you again for joining us. This is a pre-recorded episode, I should note, between the incredible Fia of the Rowan and Acacia, everyone's favorite centaur. I'm Derek Sword, and if you want to support this show, please consider tipping through ourpally.gg. It will impact the next game, since that's not how time works. You can't impact this one. It already happened. Again, this one is likely taking place between episode 10 and 11, as after the Storm Giants, as the party is heading towards the Siren Lands. Okay. Yes, Fia, you did just call the elder that has formed in front of you a charmer, to which they said, I'm not really sure. Perhaps I am.
Not a lot of sense of humor on this one, Acacia, is it?
The elders are shattered into I don't know how many pieces. So not knowing something is expected. At least that's what my guess. That's my guess. Sorry, I don't mean to make assumptions about you. I'm sorry.
No, you're quite correct. I fear that my sense of humor is somewhere in that nebula over there.
The last
But I
time
am constituted of as much as I can be.
this is like half to Fia, semi half to the elder. The last time we talked, they said that they were talking with their thigh a lot, or something along those lines.
My shin bone.
Um, what is Stargazer Nev doing?
She has kind of placed her hands, she's folded her hands together over her stomach and is just looking to you as you basically, this is an elder that you know. She might have summoned them with the right notes, but you asked to go deeper. And so she is just patiently waiting for you to finish your conversation.
That is fair. Um, I once again did not come with questions. This was more so to see if I could bring a friend. And just,
Hmm.
I didn't come with an intent other than to shepherd Fia. But, Fia, if you're here, if there's anything you want to talk about, and they're willing to talk, then
One of
I
my favorite things about all of you is that you never go anywhere without questions. But I will answer what I can.
I will admit I feel like I am a poor harbinger to be doing this mission particularly, or to be conversing with an elder. There are some of my people who are much more studied and probably have a lot more information than I do. I'm just but
And yet I talk to you.
that you do. I am the one here.
give yourself a bit more credit.
You're very
For some
sweet.
for someone who trusts so much in fate, do you think it would lead you to a place you were not meant to be?
Oh, you got me there. You're right. Fate led me here to be with Acacia and here in the stars to talking to you.
So,
I, when you say that you're in pieces, how these, where are these? How did you get to be like that?
Where? And they just cast their arm all around. We are here and there. How is the great effort and sacrifice? Determined sacrifice.
This was intentional.
Acacia kind of semi nods at this, but doesn't interrupt anything that the elder would say.
It was necessary.
Uh, Fia, I don't remember. I don't know if how many of the stories back on Damaris you know of the elders and how they were and where they went, but if you're willing to talk about it, I would very much like to know the truth. behind those stories and that I grew up with.
Were you asking Fia the truth, or were you asking the elder the
It's
truth?
I was like kind of talking to Fia, and then I
Mm-hmm.
also like directed my attention back to the elder. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
mostly
Okay.
towards them.
Okay. There is there are many stories that your peoples tell which have fragments of truth, but I don't believe that anyone knows what truly happened. And for very good reason. I cannot and will not tell you my purpose for being here, and that is a gift to you.
There are ruins far to the north of what used to be in Orcish City. I have some guesses.
I will leave you with those assumptions.
Ruins in an Orcish city. You'll have to explain that one to me. I I guess if can you tell me the truth of the Starfall communion, Elder?
I can tell you that the enemy that you stand against as a harbinger is an enemy to all, and we share that.
Well, that's good. And what can you do with them, against them?
I am here.
Hmm.
That is all I can do. And I hope that it is enough.
I do apologize for these somber questions, but
And I likewise apologize for my cryptic answers.
it's honestly, I get it. Gods
I
and
work
beings like gods, it's just kind of a trait, I feel like.
I work
Oh,
directly with the god. That's sort of the part and parcel. I have found them to be quite vague on details most of the time, so I feel like I wasn't
well,
expecting much.
don't let them lie to you. The gods have so many questions as well.
Have you met my goddess or one of her facets?
If the elder, if you could see a smile, you would. Yes, I know her, them, very well.
Is
I'm
she
very,
one of your Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm very proud of her, them.
I was going to ask if she was one of your favorites too, like the Harpies.
I believe you've answered your question already.
I like to think the Harpies are the Morrigan's favorite too, but I do know that she also likes her banshees quite a bit.
I didn't know she was going by that name.
The Morrigan. Does she have other
She
names?
had so very many.
What are her other names? I'm sure the Harbingers would be fascinated.
Last time I spoke to her, she had such an affinity for ravens.
She still does.
I think that's all I can say.
Now we're being cagey. All right.
She liked to take many forms.
It's the triple
Often in
goddess thing. It's a thing. Yes, many
the triple
forms.
goddess thing, whether it was carrying a spear or holding a thread, or formed into one with great wings and ushering the dead.
The more I
She had
learn
so
about
many.
your goddess, I kind of like her more and more.
She's pretty great. A little cutthroat sometimes, that it does come with the territory of like, war and blood and death and that sort of thing. But
Acacia, she is what brought you to me the first time. You prayed to them, her.
The more?
That is not the name you prayed to her under.
Derek, please refresh my memory.
She is also the Three Fates.
That's what I've been calling. That's what the more is another term for the three fates.
The Moray. I'm sorry. You
Yeah, yeah,
said
yeah,
the.
yeah,
I thought
yeah,
you
yeah,
said the
yeah.
Morgan. Yes, she
No,
is
no, not
also
the
the
Morgan.
Moray.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're one and the same. What I am essentially
Yeah, yeah,
hinting
yeah,
at
yeah.
is
She's got
this
those
is
facets.
Uh-huh.
this is the Raven Queen who also presents herself as the Morgan, who also presents herself as
The
the
three
Moray.
fates.
She is a powerful enough goddess that she's got side gigs.
Wait.
Um, I guess I'm already acquainted with her, Fia.
Well, now I knew we did have a connection. I didn't realize it was that close.
Just another side of her fate assets.
You're halfway to
Aspects.
becoming a harbinger yourself, then.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Just saying.
I'll keep it in mind if I need another calling in my life.
If there is no more that I can do for you, I leave you in the capable hands of an honored stargazer. And he does bow before Nev.
I actually did have one question.
Hmm.
And it's fairly solemn. There are people down on Domaris who do have the means to pull you, bits of you, from the sky.
Yes.
What would happen if too many pieces are pulled down and are no longer present in the night? And
I don't know. Perhaps.
I'll be
Perhaps something else would stand in the way of darkness. I am of the belief that light is never truly extinguished, that darkness will never prevail. We did what we felt necessary at the time. And I have to believe that there will be others who will do the same. We are not eternal, Acacia. Stars are not eternal. Stars die all the time.
Everything
But
dies eventually.
it does. But it does warm wherever my heart is in this vast expanse to know that there are beings such as yourselves who carry that light.
It's still gonna be a worry, but
That is life.
so it is.
Carry the light with you, both of you, wherever you go. Don't ever think that the darkness has fully snuffed it out. And with that, he will just begin to dissipate slowly off into the ether.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was some heavy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
You
Is
know,
that as far
Acacia.
as you wanted to go, or did you all want to
I do not want to
see
go.
what's really down there?
Um, Considering last time I reached out to an elder, something I did not like reached back. I would like to not go farther.
All right, then.
I
Sorry,
don't know
Fia, if you wanted to
Oh,
go farther, but
no, I don't think I could handle much more, frankly. It was a lot for me to process as is.
all right, maybe we head back then. Stargazer.
All right, then. Um, and she will turn back to the way that you came. And what the stars that she's collected in her hands, she's trying very diligently to put them back where she found them. I will need a, say, Constitution saving throw from both of you.
Okay. Cool.
Grab that. All right. Oh, damn. 22.
Constitution saving throw. 12.
Keisha, following directly behind Stargazer and Eve, are you holding hands with Fia again?
I probably would have tried offered to take her hand again, so we didn't get separated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because just that
Fia-
one time, like with Nev, I had to give her a
Right.
hug.
Fia, I would say that you start to feel a pull. That there's almost like when you're walking through mud or very like a tide, like your feet are dragging, and Acacia, you would even notice that your arm is like, it's like pulling a toddler along. Like Fia is not moving at the pace that you are moving, and you feel that tightening in your tendons.
Mm-hmm.
And as you turn back to see, what is that pulling sensation? It's not like pulling at your waist or your shoulders. It's your whole body. It's like running when you're in a dream.
I'm also turning back to feel her, look at her, like, what's going on? Why am I dragging a bird?
And the stars behind you, where it once was this vast array of nebulous light, is void. Complete void.
Ooh.
And in that void, somehow without light, Fia, you see something moving towards you.
If I look back, do I see anything as well?
You do.
I don't like this.
This is the gate behind you. As Stargazer Nev is trying to close it, there is something coming towards you.
Can I help her try to close it?
Yeah? How would you like to do that?
What is she doing? Putting the stars back?
She is.
And that's the closing of the gate.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I would like to... Stargazer, is there anything I can do to assist?
Just pull your friend along. Get her through the doorway.
Right, come on, Fia.
It needs to close.
I will, lift, pick you up, hoist, if that's okay, Fia.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I may try and reach to get, if it's all right, climb on Acacia's back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Because you are not necessarily physical beings right now, this is either wisdom or constitution. So I will let you decide, because you are either mentally pulling her with this tether, or you are literally trying to constitute yourself out of star stuff to maintain your form and pull it through. So you may do either as a saving throw, constitution or wisdom. This is a DC 15.
All right, I'm gonna do constitution again.
It doesn't matter. It's 13 for both of them. So.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
I mean, for me, that was a natural 20.
Okay. We'll average the two.
Sure.
Yeah. So that is above a 15. I do want to describe, Phil, what you do see is like a great serpent without a pointed head. It's more like a circular mouth of rotating jaws with these tentacles extending off of it and these sightless eyes. giving off light in a place where light is consumed, and it is moving its way through gravityless space towards you. And as you turn back and that little bit of astral adrenaline courses through your veins, you are able to pull your talons from whatever traction this thing has placed on you and push yourself those final few steps as Stargazer Nev places the last star back.
Whoa.
And behind you again, in the blink of an eye, is star stuff. Space. But just as it was, the void left to the void.
Even though there's like no physical lungs, there's like the impression of like panicked breathing.
Mm-hmm.
You...
And Stargazer Nev, especially if Acacia's doing it, will grab your shoulders and say, Acacia, it's not real. There's no air here. Just know that it's not real. There is nothing physical here. I need you to know that.
Nothing physical, but it doesn't mean that there's nothing there.
There's nothing there anymore. You are safe.
Fia, are you okay?
I'm fine, I think, but I didn't like whatever that was.
No.
Not in the least bit. That's the things that they warn us about.
I wonder if that's the same thing who spoke to me last time.
You can't feel it or anything, can you?
I can't feel it, right, Derek?
No, there is nothing tingling in your brains where you would be worried about carrying any of that with you. You both were successful in exiting and closing the door behind you. You both have had quite an ordeal, and especially for you, Keisha's friend, Fia. If this is your first time, you're going to need to drink a lot of water when you get back to your body. Make sure you eat a healthy meal and get a lot of rest. It's taxing doing this. I'm only 30 years old. Do you think I look like this? I'm kidding.
I would also suggest stretching a bit too when we get back. Being in the same position is annoying and uncomfortable.
Yeah, you lie the wrong way and you've got back problems for weeks. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, but you did enough trial and error to figure out best protocol, right?
Oh, yeah, you got to do the side stretches. Really get that lower spine. Well, the lower humanoid spine. The horse spine's fine.
I will keep all of that in mind.
Anatomy. All half human, half animal's worst nightmare. How does it work?
Probably have to stretch my wings a bit or something. Oh.
Hopefully it didn't start raining again when we get back.
Oh, Lord, I hope not.
Okay, if you keep training, you might be able to control that sort of thing.
Which sort of thing?
Weather.
Oh, maybe. We'll see how it goes.
Eh.
We have a few of the nature folk among the harbingers who can do that sort of thing. It comes in quite handy sometimes.
I believe it. Be great for crops. If there's a drought or too much rain.
Yeah, I was thinking more like, favorable weather over your group, your battle group, and unfavorable weather over the people you're fighting is really what we use it for more often than not. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll let you two discuss the strategies of rain. I need to go and get some rest.
Oh,
So,
before you go,
yes.
I'll go up to her and give her another hug. That
I
one.
miss you too.
This one's for Bass.
I'll pass it along.
And that I miss him. And that he needs to figure it out quickly so he can come say hi to me.
Oh, I've been dragging him along here and there. He's getting it. He's just spending a lot of his time picking off Nerian soldiers who come too far inland. That's become his new hobby.
I wish him the best on that because, yeah, fuck them. Oh, and I'll give her another hug. This one's for Buck.
A bonus. All right, I'll pass that one along too.
And then one more. And this last one's for you. Again.
I'll hold on to this one.
I think you'd like
Take care
Buck.
of yourself.
Thank you. I think you'd like Buck, Fia.
Ah,
Thank you. Thank you for taking us and everything.
Of course. I'm only a sending spell away. If you ever need anything,
We will.
take care of yourself and those around you. And it was very lovely meeting you, Fia.
it was lovely to meet you too. I hope to meet again at some point.
And she will
Hopefully
turn.
not at the end, but
The end makes equals of us all.
sure does.
And she goes walking off as the star stuff she is made of all dissipates and goes back into the spreaded field.
I just kind of watch her go away. And like partially to myself. Sometimes I regret not staying with the herds.
Do you know?
Sometimes.
You know, Acacia, when I first joined, when I met you all on that ship that y'all were, looting and pirating and things, I knew I was supposed to be there. And I knew that I was supposed to join you all. But when I saw Scarlet, I thought, ah, yes, this makes sense. I'm supposed to be here because I'm reunited. I thought it was fate drawing me to my cousin. But I'm realizing that maybe perhaps it was drawing me so that I could meet you.
Fate works in mysterious ways.
She sure does.
Sometimes I wish I could see what that weave looks like on the other side.
Oh, don't we all, though?
And how much it changes. How many times do you think our goddess changes something because of something that one of us did that they didn't expect?
Well, I know
More
it's
times
happened.
than you know.
Says the all-knowing DM.
I was going to say, I know of at least twice, and it's because of something she did. So, can't imagine. And we're hoping to change it again once more.
I have this. I don't necessarily worship and believe in fate. But in a way I do, in a way I don't. Because I always look at it as, well, me being stubborn, for one.
Hadn't gotten that impression at all.
Stubborn as a horse. But because if there's something I don't like, I'm going to make it the way I want it to be. But then you get into that weird, was it always meant to be, or did I change it type of situation? And I find that too much a headache to think about.
Yeah, best not most days, I find. I mean, I just go along and assume that it was always meant to be. I try not to think too hard about it. But I was raised to that. I've always been told that there is something planned. My mother was a harbinger before me, so.
Family occupation?
Sure is. That's unusual for the harbingers. It's not common, but we're special, I guess. As are you.
I guess you can say that. I do hope that when we eventually part ways, we do see each other again.
Oh, I have no doubt about that.
If it's not in the docket of the weaving, I'll make it happen at some point. As Stargazer Nev said, there's one sending spell away.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, Rollin knows how to reach out to the Harbingers when he wants. So
It'll be interesting. I don't get normally I don't get cold for requests. It's not Harbingers sometimes do get cold for requests. It's not common, but it's not unusual. Me, never. Never.
why would someone want to request a Harbinger?
Because we're scary. Ill omens want to look intimidating to the other side if they're going into a big battle or something. We're
So
good at tracking too, at least most of us are.
so simulated ill omens.
Yeah. I, even among the Harbingers, am something considered something of a particularly bad omen, but also some apparently find me distracting, which is why they don't usually request me.
Besides the distracting part, why are you considered a particularly ill omen, if you don't mind me asking?
Because I'm a harpy. Because I look like this. The raven
Ah,
doesn't get much more symbolic of the Morrigan herself than me.
I guess that makes sense. I just have a general respect for corvids in general, so I guess that didn't click.
Mm, yeah. Healthy respect, which is good. One should always respect the corvids.
They're smart. They're way too smart.
Hmm?
And I've talked to a couple recently, and they've got a witty beak on them.
They like to wake me up at the crack of dawn to go going somewhere, frankly. Sometimes the Morrigan likes to send them that early as a joke. It's not my favorite.
Can't help with that, unfortunately. I'm not about to tell a corvid what to do.
No. They wouldn't listen anyway.
Exactly. Shall we be heading back?
Yeah, I'm sure my legs are right cramping right now.
Okay. Then I'll begin retracing our steps, but more
Mhm.
so focusing on like slipping away from the stars and heading back to a physical location.
Yeah, coming out of this is almost like itself falling asleep. It's letting go. There's a certain like tightening of muscles, if you want to think about it that way, that has kept you here. And the mental tether has helped Fia come along as well, not knowing what muscles to flex. And as you just release, you begin to dissipate your star stuff, sprinkling out and becoming all that which is in the night sky. And at a certain point, that falling asleep becomes waking up. And the two of you, still linked, open your eyes almost in unison to the rising sun cresting just over the horizon. Probably one of the only times in the day you get to see the sun in this sea of eternal tempest. But it's rising, casting light on both of your faces as sailors begin to rise from below decks and go about their daily tasks. And you two are back where you were.
I'll begin to get to my hooves and my feet and begin stretching. I am very glad I did not go in the crow's nest.
Uh, as cramped as I feel now, that would have been 10 times worse, I'm sure. And she ruffles her feathers and stretches the wings out really huge and sort of does a like hop as she gets to her feet. She does that sort of like crow hop motion and also like picking her legs up one at a time and stamping them.
And it
Ugh.
didn't rain.
Ugh. Thank the gods for that.
we have a respite. It's gonna rain later, I'm sure it will, but for now, we're mostly dry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see Honey, get some water, some food, and then go to sleep for a couple hours.
Might do that. Definitely the food and the water. Might
Stretch
see
your
if Proxim wants. Might see if Flyboy wants to go for a flight.
make sure you get there, get go flying with them before the rain starts.
Exactly.
All right, let's go see Honey.
As and as the two of you get up, I will need just one final roll.
Mm-hmm.
A DC 10 Wisdom saving throw, please.
Where is my
Okay.
D20? Yeah. Oh,
Ha!
10 on the die.
I got 10 on the die too.
Yeah. What's your
14
modifier?
Perfect.
total.
14, 13.
Yeah.
No ill effects.
For
A little
now.
stiff.
Sure.
For now.
Yeah. I think that's where we're going to end.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this special episode. Again, this was a pre-recorded episode, so who knows when this is going to come out, but it did happen between episodes 10 and 11, probably after the Storm Giants, as the crew was on their way to the Siren Lands. I am presuming that is what's going to happen, because it hasn't happened in the games yet. We're recording this just after episode 9.
Ooh,
I am Derek.
timey-wimey.
Yeah, it's all timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff. I'm Derek Sword. I use him pronouns. I have been your GM for this game. I'm joined by these lovely folks. One last cast out there for the pally.gg that we use to tip our cast and crew. You can put anything in there that you are able and willing to give. And if you do tip, you can impact our future games. Obviously, not the ones we pre-recorded. That's not how time works. I'm going to have these people say a little bit about themselves so we can find more of them, because they did an incredible job today. They always do an incredible job, and you should go support them in all of those places. So, not knowing when in time this will come out, where in general can people find you, Mer?
You can find me on all applicable social media such as Twitter, Blue Sky, and Tumblr at Archmage of Dice. You can just also find me chilling in the Sword and Key Discord. Probably just being completely obsessed with whatever I'm being obsessed with at the moment.
That's so accurate. It's probably Final Fantasy.
At this point, probably Final Fantasy.
Thank you, Mer. LD.
Hi, everybody. I'm LD or Lady Dame. You can find me everywhere that's important at the Lady Dame on. That's on most social medias, except for Instagram, but I never use it, so don't worry about that one. You can find me most of the time streaming over on my actual Twitch channel, which is at the Lady Dame, on Sundays and Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Pacific, and on Mondays at noon, where I play a bunch of different RPGs, story-based games, visual novels, anything that I'm feeling at the moment. Sometimes if you're really lucky, I'll be doing crafty things or reading books as well, but kind of depends. But yeah, that's where you can find me. That's what I'm up to generally. And hopefully, spending a little more time on Sword and Keys sometime in the future. Maybe, hopefully, someday.
Yes.
Guaranteed. Yeah, your schedule is all I have to work around, and I
It's
guarantee
the
it'll
hardest
happen.
part.
Yeah, well. Thank you, LD. Again, my name is Derek Sword. Please go follow Sword and Key. You can actually join our Discord, as well as follow all of our socials, see all of the stuff we have, including discount codes for our affiliate programs. You can, again, join our Discord. You can see all of our open Pally accounts for any games. And you can join any of our casting calls, all through beacons.ai/sword and key, all one word. Find everything there. We do have a Blue Sky, we have a Twitter, we have an Instagram, for however long Twitter is around. But yeah, beacons.ai/sword and key, all the stuff organized there. I put a lot of time into it. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna really promote right now, because again, I don't know when this is coming out, but you can see all of our upcoming shows there. Even, like I said, join in our upcoming shows should you apply to any of our casting calls.
To be honest,
So
we'll probably get this released by the time your Humblewood game is out or coming
I would
out.
imagine
So
Yeah,
when's
yeah.
your humble?
Well,
When is your Humblewood game going to? What day and time?
that's a fantastic question that I wish I had memorized. Um,
It's
That
it's
Humble
fine.
game.
good in the back of my head because I'm like, oh no, it's not gonna. Let's see. I believe it starts October 8th. It will start October 8th. So there we go. I at least added it to the calendar. And that'll be Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And
Perfect.
I'm currently casting for that. So I look forward to my future self making the very tough decision of the wonderful people who have applied to that already.
It's
And
gonna
yeah,
be
October,
so
if
good.
It's gonna be
yeah,
cute.
if this is coming out in October, we have a bunch of charity games coming out in October as well because it's my favorite spooky month. And yeah, okay. I think that's where we're going to end it, folks. Again, thank you very much to Mare. Thank you very much to LD. LD, who has been an amazing guest for several sessions of Horizons Call and has added so much of her own incredible imagination and brain to lore, to the game itself, to the world of Damaris. I'm so appreciative of the cast that I have and the people that I get to play with. Find people like that, make them, force them to be in your lives. Uh, until next time, folks, fair winds and following seas. Take care of yourselves.
Bye.